અક્ષરધામનાધિપતિ સ્વામિનારાયણ બાપાની જય. My lords, ladies and gentlemen, firstly a very warm welcome to this momentous evening of emotion, enlightenment and wisdom. Tonight will be an inspirational insight into the life and works of a truly remarkable personality. The subject of this evening, His Divine Holiness, Acharya Swamishree Purushottam Predasji Maharaj. During the evening, you're asked to be considerate of all those assembled here and all those to whom this event is being broadcast all over the world. For better enjoyment of us all, please refrain from standing up to take photographs and videos, as these will be available to all from the temple. May I pray silence as His Divine Holiness enters the assembly.
મુક્ત પુરુષે તો તેને રે કહીએ જે મૂર્તિના સુખ મારે રે સત્પુરુષે તો તેને રે કહીએ જે સત્પુરુષે તો તેને રે કહીએ જે શાશ્વત શાંતિ પમાડે રે શ્રીજી સંકલ્પ તો તેને રે કહીએ જે પ્રગટની પ્રાપ્તિ કરાવે રે મુક્ત પુરુષ તો તેને રે કહીએ જે તેને રે કહીએ
હો દિવ્ય જીવનની જ્યોત જગાવો આપ કરતા થઈ કાર્યો દીપાવો મંગલમય સુખ નિત્ય દેનારા નિત્ય દેનારા જય ઘન શ્યામ જય જય કરનારા કરીએ નમન પુરુષોત્તમ પ્યારા જય ઘન શ્યામ જય જય કરનારા દીપાઓ નાદવંશી હરિવર ગુરુનો વારસો આજ વિશ્વે સ્વામી બાપા જ કરતા હરદમ નિજના સર્વ કાર્ય કર્યા છે શાસ્ત્રોને મંદિરોના અવલ સુનવલા સર્જનો તો કર્યા છે પ્યારા આચાર્ય સ્વામી નમન નમન હો આપના પાદ પદ્મે
Acharya Swamishree, sons, my lords, ladies and gentlemen. Please let us now join in the opening prayer. Most of the assembly know the words. For those who don't, you have this printed on your leaflets. So please sing along with me. Tvameva mata cha pita tvameva Tvameva bandhu sachasta Tvameva Tvameva vidya dravinam Tvameva Tvameva sarvam mama deva deva. Omnipotent, omnibenevolent, omniscient incarnator of all incarnations, creator of all creations, Almighty Lord Sri Swaminarayan, the re-manifestation of the Lord himself, Jeevan Pran Sri Abji Bapa Sri, the Adya Acharya Pravar of Sri Swaminarayan Gadi, Jeevan Pran Sri Mukta Jeevan Swami Bapa, His Divine Holiness, the Acharya of Sri Swaminarayan Gadi, Acharya Swamishree Maharaj, honorable sons, my lords, ladies and gentlemen. May I first welcome you all on behalf of Maninagar Sri Swaminarayan Gadi Sansthan and the trustees of Sri Swaminarayan Temple, London, to take a walk with Swamishree. This year marks the 70th anniversary, the 70th year of Acharya Swamishree, and also marks 50 years since he was initiated as a sant by Gurudev Jeevan Pran Sri Mukta Jeevan Swami Bapa. To celebrate this with us, we welcome Lords, MPs, councillors, our friends, our guests, including the Queen's representative, the Deputy Lieutenant, Mr. Martin Russell, Lord Dollar Popat, the Right Honourable Mr. Dominic Grieve QC, and our local MPs, Mr. Mike Freer, Mr. Barry Gardner, Mr. Bob Blackman, and also Mr. Rami Ranger OBE, Mr. Ranjit Singh OBE. Also various councillor friends. Please give them all a warm round of applause to welcome them all to the temple. My lords, ladies and gentlemen, someone once said that it requires something more than personal experience to gain a philosophy or point of view from any specific event. It is the quality of our response to the event and our capacity to enter into the lives of others that help us to make their lives and their experiences our own. With that in mind, let us begin this walk together.
We were wondering where to start with this. A fair start is Lord Swaminarayan himself. And the very first item is a stimulating depiction of the heritage from which His Holiness Swamishree descends. The epic Sarvapari Swaminarayan Bhagwan serial that Acharya Swamishree has inspired, all because a wider audience can understand the history and philosophy of the Swaminarayan religion in an engaging, stimulating, movie-style medium. You will see some of these during the next item, performed by the Sri Mukta Jeevan Dance Academy. So put your hands together, ladies and gentlemen, for the Mukta Jeevan Dance Academy.
सर्वावतारी मंगलकारी अनुपम अभिनव जन मनहारी छवि उज्ज्वल और नाम सुपावन सर्वोपरि श्री स्वामीनारायण सर्वावतारी मंगलकारी अनुपम अभिनव जन मनहारी उद्देश्य के प्रगटे तुम जग में जिनके कारण भक्तों के सुख रहे अक्षय इच्छाएं हो उनकी पूर्ण जो असुर अधर्म से पीड़ित उस धर्म भक्ति का रक्षण धर्म और भक्ति किसे कहते यह ज्ञान उपासना इनका हो भूमि पर स्थापन पूर्वावतार भक्तों का उपदेश से मन परिवर्तन उन्हें अक्षरधाम में लाना सिखला कर निज आराधन मिट चला जो धर्म एकांतिक उसको फिर देना जीवन करना विनाश दुष्टों का और संतों का प्रतिपालन पहले मुमुक्षु और उनके संपर्क में थे जो प्रियजन उन्हें अक्षरधाम दिलाना करके सद्ज्ञान का वर्षन स्वामी नारायण हुए नर देहधारी गति अगणित जीवों की सुधारी शत अभिवादन श्रद्धा वंदन सर्वोपरि श्री स्वामी नारायण मंगलकारी अनुपम अभिनव जन मनहारी जय सद्गुरु स्वामी प्रभु जय सद्गुरु स्वामी सहजानंद दयानिधि सहजानंद दयानिधि देवन में नामी प्रभु जय सद्गुरु स्वामी सहजानंद की आरती प्रेम सहित गाए जो भक्ति सहित गाए जन्म मरण से छूटकर सहज भाव से अक्षर धाम में बस जाए प्रभु जय सद्गुरु स्वामी सर्वावतारी मंगलकारी अनुपम अभिनव जन मनहारी छवि उज्ज्वल और नाम सुपावन सर्वोपरि श्री स्वामीनारायण
Devotion, that's bhakti, through music and dance, achieves peace and union with God, murti sukh. As has been said, dance in its truest form is the hidden language of our inner spirit in motion. And music is the expression of our hearts in devotion. Swamishree himself is an accomplished musician and dancer. Ask many here, and they will say that Swamishree never looks more happiest and peaceful than when sat listening to kirtan and appears immersed in the rhythms of the dances of the disciples. He continues to inspire dance and music, cultural events all over the world, including the special dance we're about to see now. So, ladies and gentlemen, if you would like to put your hands together for the little girls who've been practicing this compilation, Sri Mukta Jeevan Bharat Natyam Dance Academy.
जाएनी मुखड़े थी गाथ रे कहीं नव जाएनी मुखड़े थी गाथ रे।
Well, the applause speak for themselves there. In the Shikshapatri Code of Conduct, Lord Swaminarayan has commanded religious leaders they must establish schools and employ educated scholars to teach in them. The spreading of knowledge amongst the people at large is considered a very commendable deed. In accordance with the command of Lord Sri Swaminarayan, Sri Swaminarayan Gadi Sansthan, under the auspices of Swamishree, has established kindergartens, primary schools, high schools, secondary schools and colleges. Over 28,000 scholarships have been awarded and sponsorships to various institutions. Acharya Swamishree advocates an education that is based on moral values. Through one's education, an individual must cultivate a spirit of sacrifice, humility, selfless service to humanity, friendliness, discipline, adherence to truth, love and compassion, non-violence and faith in God. A person must develop wisdom, i.e. learn the acumen to distinguish between what is right and wrong. That is a quote from Acharya Swamishree from 2 years ago. At the Sri Mukta Jeevan Arts and Commerce Colleges in the deprived region of Panchmal and Kutch, 500 students are educated by Sri Swaminarayan Gadi Sansthan. Together with core education, the students are provided with the provisions to exercise, play sports, perform meditation and yoga, and learn the arts, dance and music. Acharya Swamishree acknowledges in particular the academic and vocational excellence of the members of the worldwide organizations, with public recognition of their efforts every year at a special award ceremony around the world as he travels, and today we are fortunate enough to witness one of these for ourselves. These are the 5th such Sri Mukta Jeevan Jewel Awards, and in London we are proud to announce the following Mukta Jeevan Jewels. Himanshu Chandra Hirani, who has been selected for the elite training squad with Middlesex Cricket Club. Himanshu will be one of the very few selected from hundreds of aspiring cricketers across the country, so it's a very proud moment for our community. So very well done, Himanshu. Chandresh Jadwaji Budia, General Certificate of Secondary Education with 13 passes at grades A to B. 5 A star, 5 A, 3 B and 1 C. Darshan Kumar Jadwaji Hirani, General Certificate of Education Advanced Level with passes in mathematics, economics, chemistry, physics and further mathematics. A star, B, B. Jayesh Kanti Gajparia, member of Association of Chartered Certified Accountants.
Acharya Swamishree has spread the message of the Lord across 6 continents in over 30 countries, envisaging and establishing over 75 socio-cultural centers, 13 educational institutions, 2 general hospitals, and has inspired many more institutions which collectively have positively influenced and improved several million people's lives. Under Acharya Swamishree Maharaj's auspices, Sri Swaminarayan Gadi Sansthan is represented in 46 countries and by 226 centers across the globe. 40 educational institutions, 17 music, dance and sport academies, and over 300,000 volunteers worldwide work for the causes of Maninagar Sri Swaminarayan Gadi Sansthan. The Panchmal Mokhasan region flourishes under his guidance with over 45 temples in Gujarat. Crossing international boundaries, centers now exist in Africa, USA, Australia and Canada. In addition to creating traditional temples, he has added to the ones Gurudev Swami Baba created in India, Africa, UK and the USA.
As we were looking at the history of Jeevan Swami Baba, and we learnt that in 1979, when he was in Lake District, he wound up his human form. Swamishree then visited London for the first time, as Mahesh Bhai has said, and opened in 1982 the temple here that we're sitting in. The words of comfort that a particular Sadguru of ours come to mind. It was here in this London temple where Sadguru Sri Bhakta Vasaldas Ji Swami stood approximately where Mahesh Bhai is now and sang this particular kirtan. And so, as we listen to this, the words are fairly clear.
Swami Bapa antar dhyan thaine aaj ko sahune aapyo chhe. Swami Bapa antar dhyan thaine aaj ko સહુને આપ્યો છે તેમ છતાંય દયા કરીને તેમ છતાંય દયા કરીને તેજનું કિરણ આપ્યું છે સ્વામી બાપાએ દયા કરીને તેજનું કિરણ આપ્યું છે સ્વામી બાપાએ દયા કરીને તેજનું કિરણ આપ્યું છે આપણ સહુને સુખ દેવાને સ્વામીશ્રી આપ્યા છે આપણ સહુને સુખ દેવાને આપણ સહુને સુખ દેવાને સ્વામીશ્રી આપ્યા છે સ્વામી બાપાએ કૃપા કરીને દુઃખ સહુના નિવાર્યા છે સ્વામી બાપાએ કૃપા કરીને દુઃખ સહુના નિવાર્યા છે સ્વામી બાપાએ દયા કરીને તેજનું કિરણ આપ્યું છે હવે આપણ સૌની ફરજ બને છે એકી સાથે રહેવાની હવે આપણ સૌની ફરજ બને છે મિત્રો આ કડીના શબ્દો સાંભળો સમજો અમલમાં મૂકો અને તે પ્રમાણે મુકાવો ભાઈઓ હવે આપણ સૌની ફરજ બને છે એકી સાથે રહેવાની ખભે ખભા મિલાવીને કાર્યોમાં સહકાર દેવાની ખભે ખભા મિલાવીને કાર્યોમાં સહકાર દેવાની સ્વામી બાપાએ દયા કરીને તેજનું કિરણ આપ્યું છે, તેજનું કિરણ આપ્યું છે. સ્વામી બાપાએ દયા કરીને તેજનું કિરણ આપ્યું છે.
This film clip is from the occasion 30 years ago when Acharya Swamishree opened this very temple.
સત્સંગના બાળક આપણે હવે તો સોંપ્યા છે. સ્વામી બાપાએ આ સત્સંગના બાળક. હે સ્વામીશ્રી, હે પૂજ્ય આચાર્ય સ્વામીશ્રી, અમારી સામું જુઓ મહારાજ. બાપા અમારી ઉપર ખૂબ ખૂબ રાજી થાય એવી દયા કરો મહારાજ, એવી કૃપા કરો ને બાપાને રાજી કરવામાં અમારા ભેળા ભળો મહારાજ. સ્વામી બાપાએ સત્સંગના બાળ આપણે હવે તો સોંપ્યા છે. સ્વામી બાપાએ સત્સંગના બાળ આપણે હવે તો સોંપ્યા છે. સુખ દુઃખમાં પ્રેરણા દેશો એવી આશા રાખે છે. સુખ દુઃખમાં પ્રેરણા દેશો એવી આશા રાખે છે. સ્વામી બાપાએ દયા કરીને તેજનું કિરણ આપ્યું છે. આજે તેજનું કિરણ આપ્યું છે. સ્વામી બાપા રાજી રહે અમ સહુ પર. બાપા રાજી રહે અમ સહુ પર. સ્વામી બાપા રાજી રહે અમ સૌ પર. સ્વામી બાપા રાજી રહે અમ સૌ પર. એવી પ્રાર્થના કરજો રે પ્રભુ, એવી પ્રાર્થના કરજો રે. સ્વામી બાપાને રાજી કરવામાં અમારા ભેળા ભરજો રે. સ્વામી બાપાને રાજી કરવામાં અમારા ભેળા ભરજો રે. સ્વામી બાપાએ દયા કરીને તેજનું કિરણ આપ્યું છે. સ્વામી બાપાએ દયા કરીને તેજનું કિરણ આપ્યું છે. ભાઈઓ તેજનું કિરણ આપ્યું છે. આપણને તેજનું કિરણ આપ્યું છે.
For all the temples and institutions and assemblies and festivals around the world that he has created over the last 33 years, Acharya Swamishree Maharaj has no personal wealth of his own whatsoever. When he took the vows of a sant, he renounced all material wealth and belongings. He quite literally has nothing other than the simple clothing that he wears and the puja, containing the items for the daily personal worship of God, which he was given as his own, and these are still 50 years later the only things that he lays any personal claim to. Sri Muktijan Swami Bapa is often seen as a cult figure, but he preached nothing new. He was following the divine footprints of Lord Sri Swaminarayan by serving humanity at large and spreading the message of righteousness. He follows the path of genuine service so tirelessly that followers worship him as the Lord incarnate, the will manifest of the Lord. The knowledge contained in the great Hindu scriptures was at the tip of his tongue. The streams of wealth came dancing at his feet, and his immaculate fame spread everywhere. This resulted in his weighing against gold on the 50th anniversary of his manifestation.
Here we will see His Holiness Acharya Swamishree at this year's Bhuj Gansam Maharaj Golden Jubilee, and we hear from his own words.
આપણા ગુરુદેવ જીવન પ્રાણ સ્વામી બાપાની બંધુઓ યાદ આવે છે. જ્યારે આપણા ગુરુદેવ જીવન પ્રાણ સ્વામી બાપાને આ લોકની દ્રષ્ટિએ 50 વર્ષ પૂર્ણ થયા, તે સમયે આ બધા બાપાના બાળકોએ ભેગા મળી આપણા સ્વામિનારાયણ સંપ્રદાયની અંદર જો કોઈ પણ સંત મહાત્માની જો તુલા થઈ હોય તો ઐતિહાસિક બંધુઓ આપના ગુરુદેવ જીવન પ્રાણ સ્વામી બાપાની થઈ. અને તે સમયે જે કંઈ સુવર્ણ આવ્યું તે સમયે ગુરુદેવ જીવન પ્રાણ સ્વામી બાપાએ તુલામાં બેઠા બેઠા બંધુઓએ જાહેરાત કરી કે આ પ્રજામાંથી આવેલું ધન પ્રજાના હિતને માથે જ વપરાશે. ત્યાં બંધુ એ જ ગુરુદેવે આપના ઘનશ્યામ મહાપ્રભુને આ ભુજ મુકામે બિરાજમાન કર્યા. તેને બંધુ 50 વર્ષ પૂર્ણ થયા. અને તે સમયે આપણે બધા સંતો મહાત્માઓ શ્રી સ્વામિનારાયણ ગાદી પરિવારના આ તમામ બાળકોએ ભેગા થઈને જે બંધુ આ ઘનશ્યામ મહાપ્રભુનું સુવર્ણ મહોત્સવનું આયોજન કર્યું છે. અને આજે બંધુઓ જે આ કરોડો રૂપિયાનું જે બંધુઓ સુવર્ણ આવ્યું છે, આ બધું એ દ્રવ્ય બંધુઓ ભગવાનને આ પ્રજાને બંધુઓ ભગવાને પોતાના પુત્રવત માની છે. અને પ્રજા પુત્ર કેમ સુખી થાય એ હેતુથી જ બંધુઓ આ જે કંઈ દાન આવ્યું છે એ પણ બંધુઓ આજે એ જ ઘનશ્યામ પ્રભુ જાહેર કરે છે કે આ પણ પ્રજાના હિતાર્થે, લોક કલ્યાણથી અને માનવ સેવા અભિયાનના અર્થે જ બંધુઓ આ બધું વપરાશે. તો આવી બંધુ આપે સેવા કરી ભગવાન બાપા સ્વામી બાપાને ખૂબ ખૂબ રાજી કરીએ. કારણ કે શ્રી સ્વામિનારાયણ ભગવાને જે બંધુઓ શિક્ષાપત્રીની અંદર પણ પંચામૃતની આ જ વાત સમજાવી છે કે સેવા મુક્તિ ગમ્યતામ, સેવાથી જ બંધુઓ મુક્તિ પ્રાપ્ત થાય છે. તો એ શ્રી સ્વામિનારાયણ ભગવાનના આદેશને આપણે બધા આપણા જીવનમાં ચરિતાર્થ કરી અને આપણે આપણા જીવનને ધન્ય બનાવીએ. બોલો શ્રી અક્ષરધામના અધિપતિ સ્વામિનારાયણ બાપાની જય.
For those who don't understand Gujarati, perhaps they should come to our Gujarati classes, don't you think, Mahesh? But there was a hiccup. Once again, apologise for that. But essentially, as Swamishree was saying, that during the Bhuj golden weighing of Lord Swaminarayan, he reminded us of the event 60 years prior to that, when Sri Muktajivan Swami Baba himself was weighed against his own weight in gold, and all the gold that was donated was used for the benefit of society and for the furtherance of education and all those ideals. And as Mahesh has said, Swamiji himself, through all of these things, has no personal wealth of his own. He can lay claim to nothing but the dhoti that he's wearing today. And we have looked at how he may inspire others to do things and achieve things. We'll take a look now at a speech that he made in Mumbai in 1989. Now, this speech sparked a worldwide blood donation session.
આપનું જે થવાનું થાય, પણ આપના સ્વામિનારાયણ ભગવાન બાપા અને સ્વામી બાપાનો ચારે કોર બંધુ જય જયકાર પ્રવૃત્તિ રહે. બસ બંધુ એમાં જ આપણા બધાની જય છે. બંધુ મોડું ગયેલું તો જરૂર એકદી મરવાનું જ છે. તો પછી બંધુઓ ભગવાન બાપા અને સ્વામી બાપાને પ્રસન્નતા પ્રાપ્ત કરીને બંધુઓ શા માટે ન મરવું?
I wonder if anybody spotted perhaps a deliberate mistake or an error, one might say, by Swamiji. He said, if one has to die to please God, then why can't one die? And then he stuck. He was about to say, and to give blood. But as we all know, giving blood is not harmful to anybody. So why did those words stick in Swamiji's throat. Perhaps this was told by Swamiji himself only 3 weeks ago in a meeting. Swamiji was sat in the old temple in Mumbai on Babulnath Road, and at the time of the purchase of the land that was acquired to build this new temple in Mumbai, the land was occupied by a criminal element, the darker side of Mumbai, who refused to move, even though we'd purchased the land. The head of this organization approached Swamiji, and he said to Swamiji, "I am going to murder you." Swamiji replied without much hesitation, as he told us a few weeks ago, if it is the will of God that I will die by your hands, then so be it. That's the first time many of us have heard this story, and I can see you all saying, a few weeks later, it was read in the papers that this particular leader was himself murdered in some battle in the suburbs. And so we are beginning to learn the way to Swamiji's heart and who we have here present. A fearless, tireless soul that appears to live for everyone else and not himself. This particular speech sparked blood donation campaigns all over the world, in temples all over the world, in USA, Nairobi, all over India. They say that unselfish and noble actions are the most radiant pages in the biography of souls. None more so than during the terrible earthquake in Bhuj, Gujarat, in 2001. The vast majority of this congregation hails from the area, and so this is particularly affected us.
20,000 people were killed and hundreds of thousands made homeless. But we found a decade on that all this was just the beginning of a remarkable success story, the regeneration of a shattered region. January the 26th, 2001, 10 to 9 in the morning. Time stopped, and so did thousands of lives. Disaster hit with terrifying ferocity, and there was no warning. The government of India called it a national calamity, and the emotional shockwaves raced across the world. There was an unprecedented wave of sympathy and giving, especially from Gujaratis living abroad. Aid poured in, £85 million in all. The need was vast. Several towns and nearly 8,000 villages were damaged. 500,000 people were left homeless. As I went from village to village, I discovered the earthquake had propelled them from the Middle Ages to modernity. This is Mitha Pashwarya. Funds raised in the UK helped rebuild it completely, and they added a school and even a medical centre, which they'd never had before.
On the 26th of January 2001, His Divine Holiness Acharya Swamishree Maharaj was giving darshan in Gadi, Mehsana, several hundred miles away from Bhuj. He performed the flag hoisting ceremony on the huge sikhars on the newly rebuilt Mandir. and returned to the main Mandir hall. The sons offered thar to the Lord, and His Divine Holiness Acharya Swamishree sat in front of the Lord and performed his meditation. It was at that time that a sant noticed that the water in the Lord's water cup was not still. Some of the sants were on the roof of the temple, where they felt the tremors and vibrations. A few ran down to request that His Holiness Acharya Swamishree should leave the temple for safety. His Holiness Acharya Swamishree replied, "I will not leave the Lord and go outside. Whatever will happen to God will happen to me as well." Immediately, His Holiness Acharya Swamishree Maharaj started chanting the Dun of the Supreme Lord Swaminarayan Bapa Swami Bapa. The sons that came to call Acharya Swamishree realized that he was adamant and followed his example. Even the sons that were still on the roof came down and sat down to join in with the chanting. A few minutes later, the shaking subsided, but the swirls in the Lord's water were still visible for a few minutes more. Within 24 hours of the massive earthquake, Acharya Swamishree and a team of sons, doctors and volunteers traveled from Ahmedabad to Bhuj, the epicenter of the affected region, to personally see the welfare of the people.
The recovery and the rescue operations that Swamishree himself led can be seen in this footage.
After this and other major disasters, Acharya Swamishree saw that there was a need for a more permanent and organized rescue operation team, and he created the Sri Mukta Jeevan Disaster Management Academy.
We've just seen perfect examples of leadership through example. Swamishree, following these 2 or 3 major disasters in the southeastern regions, has personally led 14 disaster relief programs, 23 water conservation programs, and supported over 270 medical and diagnostic camps in underprivileged areas in India and Africa. He's funded 89 wards in public hospitals in India, Kenya, Uganda and Tanzania. Adopted and rebuilt 18 villages in earthquakes and tsunami-struck areas in India. And here we see the special academy that's been created by this organization, which mobilizes at times of emergency. Here we see, at the time of the Gurdwara train massacre, where 58 victims were savagely burnt alive during communal unrest, one can clearly see here the emotions on Swamiji's face and the emotions he felt as he held prayers for the victims at the site. Too often we underestimate the power of a touch, a smile, a kind word, a listening ear, an honest compliment, or the smallest act of caring, all of which have the potential to turn a life around. That is the gift that Acharya Swamishree himself has. They say that no one is more cherished in this world than someone who lightens the burden of another. Here, we see the story of a 3-year-old Mahesh Kambani who was savagely tortured and blinded and left to die. Hearing his heartbreaking story, Swamiji travelled to Mumbai to relieve the suffering of the poor child. Accommodation and financial support was provided whilst medical treatment was being performed. Acharya Swamishree has personally attended and blessed the homes of over 16,500 people around the world at places of residence and places of work.
Giving Vartman is the equivalent of baptism into the faith. To thousands upon thousands of disciples, Acharya Swamishree has performed this Vartman ceremony, and he has transformed the lives of thousands of people. Under the direction of Acharya Swamishree Maharaj, a devoted team of ascetics called Sants, some of whom you can see here today on the stage, have abandoned their homes, renounced their wealth and personal pleasures to dedicate their lives to God and humanity. They relentlessly work for the service of society inspired by Acharya Swamishree Maharaj. Each one of us here have a personal relationship with him, even if it is the first time we have met him or seen him with our eyes. Our eyes are glued to him when he walks by or near each one of us. Each one of us is waiting for his acknowledgement gaze to fall upon us and his smile. There is a charismatic presence about him, which has been noted by many. Let us hear from some of these.
He's obviously an inspirational character, and one can see from the people gathered here tonight that there's a great devotion to him and what he stands for, and what he can inspire in his faith community, we hope to inspire in our own. But he's obviously a man of great gifts and presence.
I found him a great man, a man of ideas, a man of with the real deep, rich spirituality.
The radiance that came out from his face and from his smile was something, well, I can't really describe it.
A wonderful sense of holiness and calm, very centered, very sincere, and intense practice to have that kind of, exude that kind of divine quality.
And indeed, perhaps that last comment is the sentiment of so many of us here today. We too here are equally honoured, and some of us have felt what some of those eminent people have felt. And so, lords, ladies and gentlemen, we have reached the end of our journey. And as is quite often the case when embarking upon a journey, such as this, when one reaches the end, one realizes that we've traveled so far along, only to discover it's led us right back to the beginning. The solitary, gently smiling entrance of a humble personage, of the cloth, of a man of cloth, in whom all paths lead to God, and whose sole mission is to lead us to God. As I've said before, they say that unselfish and noble actions are the most radiant pages in the biography of souls. And as we've already said, no one is more cherished in this world than someone who lightens the burden of another. And too often, once again, we underestimate the power of his touch, the power of his smile, the power of his kind words, the power of his listening ear, the power of his honest compliment, the power of his minutest, smallest act of caring, all of which, I trust, has not only given the potential to turn our lives around, but has indeed turned our lives around.
As you all know, our temple is famous for its Scottish pipe band. The pipe band which mobilizes to assist in the organization's charitable causes. Sri Mukta Jeevan Pipe Band this year celebrates its 40th year, and in commemoration of this, the Sri Mukta Jeevan Pipe Band will present a photo album of their memories with Gurudev Swami Bapa and Acharya Swamishree Maharaj. Can I call upon Sri Mukta Jeevan Pipe Band to come with their photo album? Each page contains collages of photos of band performances and also contains a personal message to Swamishree from each member of the band, both past and present. After the presentation, Sri Mukta Jeevan Pipe Band and Sri Mukta Jeevan Dole Academy will present a magnificent composition prepared especially for today. They present to Swamishree, our Bapa, our Jeevan Pran, our life and soul. Where our words today have failed us, Swamishree, my lords and ladies and gentlemen, may our music speak. Please feel free to show your appreciation at the end, because feeling gratitude and not expressing it is like wrapping a birthday present and not giving it. May I present Sri Mukta Jeevan Pipe Band and Sri Mukta Jeevan Dole Academy. Once again, may I ask you all to show your appreciation to all those who performed tonight. And most importantly, let us show our appreciation to Acharya Swamishree Maharaj, who has inspired all of these young children, who has inspired us all. Without him, we are nothing. With him, we are everything. Thank you all for taking this short walk with Acharya Swamishree on the occasion of his 70th birthday. Thank you. Jai Swaminarayan.
Ladies and gentlemen, we've come to the end of the evening. Please all stay for the Lord's Prasad, which is due to be distributed. The guests, please do stay for refreshments, which are being served by the side marquee there. There are also some guests who will have who have requested a private audience with Swamiji on his birthday to wish him happy birthday. So please do come forward. The hosts will guide you to where that is. Should not take more than 15 minutes or so. And His Holiness will come and speak to some of your guests.
આજનો પ્રસાદ ગામ ઘનશ્યામનગરના શૈલેન કૌશિક હિરાણી તેમના તરફથી વેચવામાં આવશે. આવતીકાલે સંધ્યા આરતી 6 વાગે સાંજે 6 વાગે કરવામાં આવશે અને ત્યાર પછી બાપા પધરામણી પધારવાના છે. તો બધા જે દર્શન કરવા માટે આવવાના હો તો 6 વાગ્યા સુધીમાં આવી જશો એવી વિનંતી. જય સ્વામિનારાયણ.
લીલાલેર થાય રે બાપા જ્યાં પધારતા
હે લીલાલેર થાય રે બાપા જ્યાં પધારતા
બાપા જ્યાં પધારતા સૌને ન્યાલ કરતા બાપા જ્યાં પધારતા સૌને ન્યાલ કરતા લીલાલેર થાય રે બાપા જ્યાં પધારતા
લીલાલેર થાય રે બાપા જ્યાં